Welcome to a brand new episode of the Pack Mentality Pop-Ins podcast, episode number 147, rivalry week. So we got Pat on. We're doing a podcast. This is great.
Let's go.
Pat, welcome back.
Thanks, Brian. Hey, good news. I got a new camera for you.
This is great.
No more complaining out of the corner over there.
So first of all of our fans, we really appreciate you actually looking at the camera this week. I saw an interview where you refused to make eye contact. So this is great.
The angle is way better now, so we're ready to roll.
Well, because I told you where to tilt it, so it's working. You work on the tilts on the mat, I'll work on the tilts with the
there you go. That's
it. Stuff.
Beautiful.
Wow, bringing it all to wrestling. But I know you've had some days off here. You're on vacation, it seems like. But
snow.
I was gonna say, how did the snowstorm? How did that affect you guys at all, or what's been going on around
That was
campus?
Perfect timing. We got practice in Saturday. Snow hit. Sunday was an off day, and we were right back at it. So.
Okay.
The timing couldn't have been better. We held off for the duel so everyone could make it in the Reynolds. It's good to see it didn't affect your driving to Reynolds Coliseum.
It helps when I get a seat, so I appreciate the staff there at NC State for hooking me up with a seat.
Yep.
So, but a big northern guy. I know you love these huge winter storms. So
I was outside in it. Definitely.
Put the chains on the truck. Put the plow on the front of the truck.
There you go.
I gotta say, so UNC Friday night, great crowd, obviously, very loud, great result. I did see a tweet afterwards, so I had to bring this up. Now, this person hasn't tweeted since October, so I was like, wow, there must be something big. But I mean, in all honesty, this was a good tweet you put out because I know the guys were impressed, the coaches, staff, but to see Reynolds that loud, that sold out, it was impressive if you tweeted about it.
I knew you would like that. And, I tried to get you to help me with my social media game, but you're always too busy. So I figured
we'll talk about the crowd. I was trying to set you up with a softball here.
Crowd was unbelievable. I mean, everyone that knows Reynolds knows that if you fill that up, it is electric environment, and our fans showed up and showed out. But it makes for a great dual meet setting, and we need to do it again this Friday and bring that same energy. And yeah, we're looking forward to it, and I know, tickets are already going for sale, so don't be afraid to go buy yours, and if you can't afford it, I'll make sure I get you one, Brian.
Well, I know you always tell me to Venmo you when I want to come, so you take care of my cash straight to your pocket. So,
I'll even buy you a beer for this one.
I mean, this is great back-to-back weeks. I mean, we couldn't ask for anything better. Carolina at home, Virginia Tech at home, and that's obviously what we're going to talk about on this episode of the podcast is Virginia Tech coming to Raleigh, the challenges of that program and all that. But these are just two great duels to have back to back.
Yeah, if you're a fan of wrestling, these are duels that you want to be there live and just see the intensity and just great wrestling, great crowd. It just makes for a great atmosphere. Having the band there, all the things that go into making a first-class dual meet. This is back-to-back weeks. So you had a little trial run last week, and we go right back to it this week, ready to roll.
I had to joke. I actually texted you afterwards. I'm glad the trial run. You turned down the music during the match. I was glad. I couldn't hear myself.
It was definitely a little too loud. And I don't, on the bigger duels, I don't know if you need it.
Yep.
But some of those duels where it's a little, quieter in the arena, I think it's good to have. And I know some people have, they've shared their comments.
I've seen some comments.
We're going to find a happy medium with it all. And I don't even know if we need it next weekend either.
But I will say, too, especially when you have two mats going on at one time, probably needed that because that's just kind of a weird setup anyway. So I understand where the music came from. I know that's your favorite song, Coolio Gangster Paradise. So that was the number one, but it was a little loud. So
yeah, it was sounded like a club, like you said.
We got it corrected, but no joke. Virginia Tech coming to Raleigh. Everybody knows what the Hokies are bringing. NC State, Virginia Tech, combined for the last 10 ACC championships. So this is always a premier bout, has been for many times in these duels. What is it about the Virginia Tech rivalry against NC State for you guys?
It's great. It's good for sport. It's good for wrestling. It elevates everyone's game, and it makes you better in the long run. And that's what, when you got two good teams matching up, that's what's fun about dual meets. There's no tournaments where maybe you'll see that exactly it's 10 versus 10, and it's going to be their fan base travels well too, so our fans going to have to show up early and make sure they get their seats, and make for a great atmosphere.
Be curious where some of these Virginia Tech fans get their seats as well. So they're known for having pockets inside Reynolds.
It's good. There's nowhere to hide in Reynolds, so it's fair game. You're on
Excellent.
top of the mat. You're on top of coach. That's
Yep.
what makes this arena special.
Second meeting of the year against these guys, actually, and kind of, it was kind of rare. It was a non-conference duel back at National Duels. Hokies won 25-9. Potential for 6 or 7 rematches. We're not going to get every rematch, but what do you guys have to do to reverse the score on this time?
Well, we keep it pretty simple. I mean, you got to score takedowns, right? And that's something we didn't do in that first match. And, we obviously had a couple guys that weren't wrestling and some changes in weight classes on both teams. So it's going to be a different duel, but you're going to get the same level of wrestling and intensity. And, it is what it is. It's good wrestling. And our guys got to be ready and they got to go aggressive. And I think that's something we did well last Friday as we opened up, attacked, and scored points. And if you can't score a takedown, it's hard to win matches. And yeah, every now and then you'll get away with winning a 2-1 match, but historically that's not how it's going to work. So we've got to be aggressive and wrestle.
I don't think we're giving away secrets there. So that was a good answer. Get takedowns.
There's no secrets. You can go back and look at the matches we lost. You can go back on Friday and look at the matches we won. We scored more takedowns.
Yep. Strategery. Couple weight classes I wanted to touch on because there's just some great matchups. A lot of these matchups we've seen before, but we want to see them again. 125, Robinson, Ventresca. These two have battled 3 times. Ventresca's come out on top 4-1 each time. So kind of what are you telling Vince this week, or how is that going to change for you guys this week?
Well, it's the same thing. I mean, every guy that scored the takedown won the match, so we haven't scored a takedown yet. And you got a guy that's really good, stays in great position. You've got to find a way to get to the leg and score. And that was one time, I think the first time they wrestled this year in that earlier duel, Vinny got to the leg but didn't score the points. And that's something he's got to make sure he does. If he gets to a leg, you got to finish, and you got to wrestle 7 minutes. And, I think twice now they went to overtime.
Yep.
So, they're familiar with each other, and it's going to be one of those. No one wants to make a mistake, but I think, the more action you see, the better it'll be for that kind of match. But that's going to be a critical match in this duel meet. 25 is a must-win match if we want to stay on the course of this duel meet.
Yeah, it's kind of incredible. I mean, 2 overtime, and I believe the other one was like a takedown in the final 10 seconds. So very low scoring affair between those two, like you said. Vince got to get that takedown.
Both guys know what they're doing, so they're that's sometimes you get better guys out there. There's a lot of things happening with maybe on the scoreboard it doesn't look like it, but there's a lot of little things happening before the scores actually are created.
And kind of going up to 141, kind of a little bit of an opposite. Ryan Jack, Tom Crook. Jack's beat him 6 times in a row. So how do you prepare a wrestler who has beat somebody before and is kind of trying to do the opposite of what Vince is doing?
Same thing. Go out, score. You can get takedowns, so you got to do it, and you got to wrestle 7 minutes, and you got to finish matches. And I think that's, that should give you a lot of confidence, knowing that you're familiar with someone and you want to just open up, score the points, and don't take anything for granted. You got to show up and compete. You got to bring your A game at the level this duel meet's going to be at. Every guy's got to bring their A game because no one's going to give you anything easy, and that's just something you got to be ready for.
Going up to heavyweight here, we all know Isaac Trumbull's strong, but Jimmy Mullen probably just as strong. These two guys are just houses, and they both won an ACC duel for their team this year in a final bout, so they're very comfortable if this thing comes down to heavyweight. We all hope it will be a close one, but Trumbull, Mullen, this is a premier matchup up at heavyweight.
Yeah, I think you got 2 of the better heavyweights. Different styles of wrestling, but guys that are having a lot of success. So this will be a good one, and excited to see Isaac. He wasn't in our first duel when we wrestled him back in November. So him being in the lineup obviously is a good thing to have for us when we get in these duel meets.
And special teaser, pay attention. After Pat gets done here, we're going to have freshman Will Denny on. So have to talk about his bout, 165 pounds. Battle of 2 true freshmen. They were both highly ranked recruits, very good in the lineup this year. Will, very exciting to watch. He got that late major against Carolina, but he lost to Burton earlier at the national duel, so he needs to reverse that too. But just the excitement of these two freshmen going at 165. And you talk about a toss-up pivotal match. This might be it.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And that's something, we got a chance to see early in the season. And I'm most interested to see how much we've improved. And that's the luxury when you wrestle, whether it's an individual or a team in the early part of the season, you can see the progress that you've made or the things you need to work on. And this is going to be a great test to actually really see the body of work that he's been doing, up to this point. And he's wrestling with a lot of confidence and wrestling real aggressive. So I like where Will Denny's at right now, and I'm sure he does too. And Friday is going to be a great test for him, and it should be a fan favorite match at 165.
Pat, I could not talk any faster because Will's interview is about 20 minutes, so I didn't want to make this episode too long. So,
well, you're a professional at this point.
I did. This was a great episode. 12 minutes. I think that's your limit here. So you're fantastic for 12. If we get over into overtime, that's, feelings get a little hurt sometimes on this podcast. So
we don't want any of that.
No, but all joking aside, Virginia Tech, Friday night, Reynolds Coliseum, always one of the best duels of the year, no matter where this takes place. Pat, we know your squad's ready. Your squad's looking forward to this one. What are you guys fine-tuning the rest of the week to get ready?
Just stay consistent. I think that's something we've now settled into a really good schedule with our training, and then knowing we got a dual meet on a Friday. So keeping things consistent with our training, consistent with how you prepare when it comes down to making weight, and then are you mentally and physically ready to compete? And that's something, I think we did a really good job last Friday. We've had, some duels that some guys maybe out of all 10, you had 7 of them that were hitting. And now we need all 10 guys Friday that are bringing their A game and leave it all on the mat.
Pat, thanks for catching us up. Look forward to seeing you Friday night. Look forward to seeing the crowd there.
Can't wait to see you there, Brian.
You kind of threw me. You've never been nice to me as the close here, so that threw me off. So I'm sorry, but thank you. Looking forward to it again. Friday night Reynolds, and I got to mention, if you can't make it to Reynolds, this will be on ACC Network Television. Our guy Rock and Sean are on the call, I would believe. Is that right, Pat?
No Gwiz? How did Gwiz do last week?
I think Gwiz got bumped. So
all right, well, he's got to step his game up.
Another good Gwiz. I feel like I do a Gwiz story every time. Did you hear what he said on the broadcast as the UNC match was winding down?
No, what did he say? Something about going over to Mitch's?
Yep, come to Mitch's. He said round on him.
Yeah, that was a plug for Van Alston, who was a big supporter. Yep. So I agree. I think we should make Mitch's the official sponsor for our pre-match and post-match meeting spot.
Okay. More curious if Gwiz paid for a round for everybody.
I am too.
I do not know. I mean, that guy, we'll have to find out.
We got to get on him. Deep pockets and short arms.
Leave that one there. But Pat, thanks for catching us up. Wolfpack fans, stay tuned. Feature interview, Will Denny. Now join us on the Pack Mentality Pop-Ins podcast, freshman Will Denny. Will, thanks for joining us today on the podcast.
Thanks for having me. How's it going?
I was going to ask you because this is your first winter weather in North Carolina. We're going to get to where you're from. You're a Midwest guy, but how would you rate a Southern winter weather and the response from the people here?
I would give it like a 5. I think they overshot it a little bit. I thought I wasn't going to be able to get out, but no, it wasn't good. That's for sure.
Okay. Now you are from Manhattan, Illinois, not New York. So little geography. Whereabout is Manhattan there in Illinois?
So it's 45 minutes south of the city of Chicago. It's by Joliet. Some people know Joliet. So it's a really small town. But I've grown up there my whole life.
How does it compare? Is Raleigh a little bit bigger than I would assume for you?
Yeah, it's a lot bigger, but I went to school in Chicago.
Okay.
So I was in the city for the past 4 years of my life. Cool. So I'm used to the city life a little bit.
Okay. I was going to say Big Ten country for sure. What led you to come out to North Carolina and NC State specifically?
A big part of it was Vincent Robinson. I started training with him, and his dad was my coach when I was in 6th grade. So obviously I trusted them a ton, and Vincent came here and I saw Vincent's results, and just still being around him. I consider the Robinsons as family, and I trust them. And when I came on my visit, the coaches were very welcoming, and
Mhm.
the culture was a big part. And I feel they would hold me accountable in every aspect of my life. And, you know, at that time, not a lot of colleges were reaching out. I
Mhm.
wasn't a big name. So, to a certain extent, Coach Pat kind of took a risk on me, and I'm very grateful
Okay.
for that. But I wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
I was reading 14-hour drive.
Yep.
Do you have a car here?
I do. So I drove it down in the summer with my parents, and then
Okay.
it probably won't go back until 5 years from
Yeah.
now. Yeah.
And you lead into that, but you and your family are very close. You've obviously had to leave behind that kind of Midwest life to come to the South a little bit. But as a freshman, what kind of adjustment has it been to being on your own a little bit more than just going to Chicago for high school?
Yeah, I feel like the biggest thing was obviously doing my own laundry, cooking my own food, stuff like that. But just kind of being away from my family and
Mhm.
my parents, I'm really close with them, and they are a big factor of kind of where I am today. So, um, kind of just being able to live on my own and
Okay.
figure things out, I would say. But they come down every weekend now for a meet, so it's good to
Okay.
see them, and they'll be down here if I ever need them, so that helps.
That is a lot of together time in the car for them then.
Yeah, it got annoying after about, I'd say, 8 hours.
Okay. You're the youngest of three, an older brother, an older sister. What was the competition like in your household growing up?
Yeah, well, I was the only one who wrestled.
Okay.
My uncle wrestled, but my dad and brother didn't. So, uh, there was competitiveness, but it was in different things. It was just in like backyard football
Yeah.
or video games, stuff like that. And my brother, I really picked up my competitiveness and work ethic from my brother and my dad. So whenever we were playing something, I feel it always got heated
Okay.
because everyone wants to win. But no, they were my brother was always pushing me to be better, and he
Mhm.
always wanted me to be better than him. That was a big thing, and then there was really never a competitive side with my sister.
Okay.
I had more of a sweet relationship with
Okay.
my sister than a competitive relationship with her, which was awesome.
Okay. And I should have looked this up. Are they in college now? Have they graduated? Where are they right now?
Yeah, so my brother graduated from Eastern Illinois State School, and
Okay.
he's working a full-time job at Rural King. And then my sister, she's 21, and she's
Mhm.
also working a full-time job at a physical therapy place.
Okay.
Yeah.
A few weeks ago, I had your teammate Patrick Brophy on the podcast. He was saying he didn't start wrestling until high school. I read you started at age 4, but football was also a huge part of your life. When did the gears change to go to wrestling from football?
Um, it was after my freshman year. So my freshman year, I played football and I wrestled, and then I did not place in state my freshman year.
Okay.
And that was the big turning point for me. I was just like, if I really want to be good, I gotta buy all in. And I talked to my high school coach, Ryan Egan, and
Mhm.
I pretty much just was like, whatever I gotta do, I'm ready to do it. And I wasn't the biggest kid on the football field, so I knew I probably wasn't gonna go too far with that. So my
Okay.
best option was wrestling.
Okay. Linebacker or what you play in football?
Yeah, I was an outside linebacker and a
Okay.
corner. I switched off.
Okay. Okay. And you kind of talked about it, but you went to high school in Chicago. So it wasn't like you were just driving 5 minutes to go to wrestling practice. There was a major commitment. Kind of take us through like a high school training day that you had.
Yeah, so I lived about 45 minutes from my high school without traffic.
Mhm.
So we would usually have a morning workout at 6 a.m. So I'd wake up around 4:15, 4:30. I'd leave the house by 5. I'd pick up a kid on the way that lived by me,
Mhm.
and then we would have workout from 6 to about 7:30, and then I had first period off, so I would get some breakfast, chill out for a little bit, go through the school day, and then right after school, since I wasn't going to be home for a while, we had a mandatory study hall.
Mhm.
So I'd get my homework done, and then we would have practice, and I'd get home about 8 o'clock at night.
Wow. Where
Long
do you,
day.
I was going to say, where do you think that work ethic comes from?
Um, my brother and my dad for sure.
Okay.
They really, when I was younger, I did not want to work hard. I was very athletic, and my
Mhm.
brother was not on the athletic side, and he just worked super hard to kind of get where he was. And looking up to him and seeing the results that he got when he was not always favored, he wasn't the
Mhm.
biggest, strongest. So really came from my brother and my dad of just how hard they work. And I mean, I just wanted to be like them.
Yeah. Multiple time state champion in Illinois. You've only been out for a year, but looking back, maybe some people aren't as familiar with the Illinois wrestling in the prep ranks, how great it is. But what kind of an accomplishment was that for you?
It was awesome. I really never like I never had a lot of self-confidence as a kid, so I was like looking up like high school state champ, like, oh, like that'd be awesome. And then when I finally did it, it was kind of just like surreal moment and all the hard work paid off. And honestly, the second one felt a lot better than the first one in my eyes. It was just like I did it once and I like really kept my goals the same and I worked just as hard, if not harder, to get there again and made it happen again. So that second one felt a lot better.
Okay. And you came down to NC State for the summer, got a little head start on class, but you had the opportunity to go down to Peru in July, U20 Pan American Championships, won the gold at 74 kilos. Just how exciting was that to represent the country, win a major tournament? And this is all before college even started.
It was awesome. I actually when I got the call to be on the team, I was at my high school graduation.
Oh, wow.
And right when I got done, my mom like came up to me and she was like, "Hey, like they just called and asked if you want to be on the Pan Am team." And like right away, I was like, "Yeah, let's do it." And it was really cool to go across country and see, I mean, what high level guys do, cutting weight
Mhm.
over there and stuff. But it was just an awesome experience to be over there and be with the team. The team was loaded with
Mhm.
a ton of great wrestlers, and to be together was really cool.
Was that your first time traveling internationally for a tournament?
It was.
Okay. First impressions of being out of the country?
It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I didn't like the flight. The flight was a little long, but I guess I have to do it.
Okay. Let me bring up this picture. But I found this picture in a story afterwards. Kind of who's in this picture, their support and all that, and just kind of talk about what this picture means to you.
Yeah, on the all the way on the right's my sister Lexi, and then my mom, and then my dad and my brother Luke. They're awesome. They mean a lot to me, and to have them travel across the country just kind of shows how close of a family we are and how much we mean to each other. So it was um it was cool to look up in the stands in a different country and see them
Yeah.
supporting me. That it was awesome. I love them to death.
And Trent kind of talked about this with his when he won the gold, just being able to wrap that flag around yourself and run around the mat. What kind of feeling it? Can you describe that feeling?
Yeah, it puts a smile on my face every time
Okay.
someone brings it up because yeah, when you're a kid, you're watching the Olympics, you're watching
Mhm.
Worlds, and you see people run around with the flags, and then in the moment, you're like, I'm actually doing it.
Mhm.
So it was an awesome feeling, even though like I didn't get the world spot that I wanted. It was cool to be, able to represent USA on that level.
So I would assume folk style is a big thing, or excuse me, freestyle is going to be a big thing moving forward for yourself, and you have ambitions to keep that going.
For sure, 100%.
So are you a freestyle or folk style guy?
Um, I love both,
Okay.
but first, I like a little bit of both. I
Okay.
like freestyle, just I feel like my style fits freestyle better, but I also like
Okay.
full style because I like to just kind of I like to wrestle 7 minutes hard and
Yeah.
I like to break people. So.
Okay. Speaking of that, you came into the lineup this year. What was the transition from high school wrestler to wrestling for a top 10 team like?
Uh, the biggest thing, obviously, top bottom. I feel
Yeah.
like that was a big thing. I wrestled with Jackson Arrington one of my first times here,
Mhm.
and I remember he he held me down for like 20 minutes, and I was like, I don't know if this is for me, but it worked out. But I feel the partners and the coaches we have in the room kind of
Mhm.
um, elevated my wrestling to
Okay.
the level that it needed to be. I'm partners with Matty Singleton every day, and he's an All-American. He's one of the best in the country. So it's very easy to elevate your wrestling when you have a partner like that every day.
I had to laugh because Jackson doesn't take easy on anybody. So
No,
that's just the way he is.
yeah.
How are you a different wrestler now today from just even in November when you first got into that lineup?
I feel I'm a lot more patient.
Okay.
That first match, I really wanted to like go out there and just like let it fly, and
Mhm.
I realized quickly that like it's not freestyle and every kid's gonna wrestle through every position.
Yeah.
So like I was expecting easy takedowns when that was not the case. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter if you're wrestling an unranked guy or a ranked guy. So just being more patient with my attacks, I feel like what was the biggest thing, and then just uh developing my pace and just
Mhm.
ready to wrestle 7 minutes hard.
Seems like this year I've noticed there's a lot of roll throughs for guys on defense. How frustrating is that for a wrestler? Because it's really gotten out of hand here.
It's frustrating. I mean, you
Yeah.
probably saw it Friday night. That's all he had in his bag. So especially when you're close to a takedown and then they hit a
Yeah.
roll, you're just like, ah, well, now we're starting at square one.
Yep. And you mentioned that, but we're going to talk about UNC Friday night. You yourself, a lot of tournaments, international, high school, big crowds, big environments, but this was Reynolds Coliseum packed against a big rival UNC. Just what was the feeling like being out there on the mat?
It was unreal. I've heard stories of it this week
Mhm.
and how loud it is, but to be able to walk out and represent NC State against them and
Mhm.
be in front of the best fan base in the country, it was really, really cool. And I'm expecting the same thing next week against Virginia Tech.
It's a good tease. Friday night, Virginia Tech back in Raleigh. Great matchup at 165. Assuming you're facing again a fellow freshman in Burton. I know you guys wrestled this year earlier, but do you guys have any high school history or freestyle history?
Oh, we do not. He was always at 175, and then
Okay.
I was 157 in high school, so we were a couple weights apart.
Okay. But you guys did meet earlier this year down at National Duels. What do you have to do to reverse the result from that first meeting?
Um, I feel like wrestle my my match. I
Hmm.
feel that was my first big tournament,
Hmm.
and um, I wrestled three great wrestlers, and
Yep.
he got the best of me. But I also think I know it's January, not
Hmm.
November, and I know he's cutting a little bit of weight too,
Hmm.
and I feel fresh. I pretty much bumped up weight since high school,
Yeah.
so I'm just ready to wrestle 7 minutes hard, and I'm 100% different wrestler than I was then. So I'm confident my coach has got me
Yep.
more ready than his has.
I was going to say, and Pat kind of mentioned that in the preseason. You kind of bump away, but he feels like you're a full size 165 already. Would you say that's the case and you're comfortable not cutting as much, or would you like to get a little bit bigger here, maybe heading into next year?
I would say right now I'm a full size
Okay.
65. Probably put on a little bit of more muscle for next year,
Okay.
but I'm pretty happy where I'm at right now. I usually sit around 175, so
Mhm.
I don't like cutting too much weight, so
Yeah.
it works out for me.
Have you put on any of the Southern cookout or any other Southern bad foods here weight, or is this all good weight?
I'll say cookouts put on a couple
Yep.
pounds, that's
Yep.
for sure.
I think that's everybody's answer.
It's
uh,
good.
2 months away, still a lot of duels, but it's hard not to look forward to the postseason. ACCs is going to be a great tournament. You're going to be at the NCAAs, a great seed. Not taken away from duels, but there's a lot for you and for this team to accomplish in March. Just how exciting is it as the season's winding down a little bit now?
It's really excited, because I feel we have a really good lineup and we
Mhm.
have a lot of guys that work their tails off, and they're gonna reap the benefits at the end of the year. Up and down the lineup, I think every guy can All American,
Mhm.
and if not win it. So it's really cool to see how hard these guys work and how hard we push each other. So I'm just really excited to see them accomplish their goals at the end of the year.
Always on this podcast, we have to remember you guys are student athletes, so we have to ask about education. Are you in any kind of, I know you're a freshman, but are you in any kind of program here at NC State yet?
I have not intended a
Okay.
major, but I'm planning on business administration. That's my
Okay.
plan.
I was gonna say any career ambitions yet, or it's very early.
Uh, Ultimately, I'm hoping to be a wrestling coach one day,
Okay.
but other than that, we'll see.
High school, youth, college, what age group you think?
I would hope college.
Okay.
College
So
would be awesome.
you're gonna have to deal with NIL a little bit more.
Yeah, it would. It's definitely gonna be worse then too.
It's a different dynamic now, but I think it's safe to say you've made a great choice at NC State. You're enjoying your season, but there's still a lot more left that you want to accomplish this season.
100%. I feel I finally wrestled to my full potential Friday night,
Mhm,
and I feel I just want to keep building on that and scoring points. And I don't like winning by 1 or 2 points. I
mhm,
know it's gonna happen sometimes, but it's just I've never been that way, and I don't like it at all. So
mhm.
just building on that is kind of my main focus right now, and I feel if I do that, there's no one that could beat me.
I think the fans can appreciate it because there's at least 3 matches I know of that you got a late takedown either to get a major or to get a win. Just how exciting is that takedown in the final 10 to 5 seconds there?
Yeah, it's very fulfilling, especially for a major, because
Mhm.
um, you're working the whole match towards it, and when you finally get it, like I'm more excited about a major in college now than I was about like a tech or a pit in high school. Like I could care less about
Yeah,
that, but now getting a major, like you're putting the pace on guys, and it's not easy to just major D1
yeah,
wrestlers.
absolutely. Will, it's great meeting you. Great to catch up. Fans are looking forward to it. Friday night, Virginia Tech, huge duel. I know you're looking forward to it. The whole team is. This is a great rivalry. I'm sure you know all about the NC State Virginia Tech rivalry now.
Yeah, I've heard a lot, and I'm excited to see what it brings to the table.
Will, look forward to the rest of the year. And this is another episode of Pack Mentality Poppins podcast covering NC State wrestling. Until next time, go Pack.